Alright, g'day everyone and welcome to another quick episode, another how-to video in the DreamTripAus how-to series. And this one today is all about what do we do for water when we're off-grid.
The other resting up against the half-open window sunbathes my skin with its warm energy. Gusts of wind.
Our caravan has two 80 litre or maybe 90 litre freshwater tanks, right? And we use about 20 litres a day. So if we've got 160 litres, you can take a punt and say that we'll probably get about 8 days off grid just with the tanks on the caravan. Now, we did 3 weeks at Yardie Creek on the Ningaloo Reef in Cape Range National Park, and we were completely off grid there. No water and power. Power is fine, right? That's easy. We've got the solar panels on the roof, they take care of that. But water, what did we do for water? So there's a couple of options. In that situation, we were camping on a beach and we were surrounded by salt water, so we got no option but to go somewhere we can get fresh water. Now, there was bore water down the road, but in Exmouth there was drinking water. So we have, if you come with me, we've got a couple of these 10 litre jerrys, drinking water. We've got, I think, 3 or 4 of these. They're a 20 litre collapsible jobby. Plus, if you follow me on the draw bar, we've got a couple of jerry cans as well that we can fill with water. So when we're off grid and we're out of town, we just chuck those bad boys in the car. I think all up we can transport about 100 litres, and we drove into Exmouth, which is about an hour away from camp, fill them all up, bring them back and siphon or pump them into our tanks. Now I'll show you how we do that in just a minute, but the obvious way, or the other way that we could have done it if we really wanted to, was hook on the van, tow it into town and find a water hookup somewhere that we could fill up with. But anyway, I'll show you now how we get the water out of our jerry cans and collapsibles and into our tanks. Righto, so I'll just demonstrate with this little 10 litre. Of course, I do this with our 20 litre jerrys and our 20 litre collapsibles as well. A good spot for me that really works well to get the siphon effect going is up here on top of the toolbox. If you've not siphoned before, the key is to get your water source, so your storage container, up higher than the destination. If it's not higher, then the siphon effect won't work, right? The idea being that once the water starts flowing down the hose and into the tanks, the force or the suction of the water moving through the hose is what draws the water up and out of the container. That's my understanding anyway. Make sure that your hose gets all the way down to the bottom of the container, the lowest point. Then, to get it going, simply give it a suck start. Hear it coming out. And then tuck it into the tank. Anyway, you can see that's emptying quite quickly just from siphoning. But I'm going to save a bit here now. Pull that out and stop the siphon effect so I can show you how we do it when we've got heaps. So if we've got 100 litres of water, siphoning it out of the containers and lifting the 20 litre jerrys up onto here can be quite tiring and painful. So I'll show you what we do and how I use the pump and the pump setup. Alright, if you want to have a look at this, I've got here a little submergible sea flow or submersible inline pump. They're pretty cheap, but what it also comes with is a cap that you can pop over this end here, a bit of a filter, and you can drop it, submerge it straight into your water source. You can use it to pump from a fresh flowing water source if you've got one nearby. So for example, when we're up in the high country, we like to camp a bit in Dargo and Victorian high country and stuff. There's some beautiful freshwater streams and stuff like that which you'd happily drink from if you're at the right part of the stream, if you're upstream enough, and you could easily drop this bad boy in or run a hose out if it's not too long or you're not pumping too high uphill. So you've got to make sure you check the specs on your pump, because it will specify the elevation you can pump to. Alright, so if you've got a really steep riverbank or something like that, it's going to struggle. But anyway, you can check that on the type of pump that you get. So what I'm going to do here instead is attach a short length of hose to get down into the bottom of my jerry can, because not all of my jerry cans have an opening big enough to drop the entire pump into. Right, the other end I have feeding into an inline filter. Now this is not completely necessary, but we are pretty lazy sometimes and we drink straight out of the tap inside. We do have a drinking water filter as well, but if you are pumping from a creek or a river, then I would strongly suggest having a filter in line. But also too, if you're pumping from bore water or something like that, you probably want to filter it anyway, just to keep your tanks as clean as you can. And another small length of hose, and we've got one of these awesome devices. We got it off eBay as well. They're about 25-30 bucks or something. It's an awesome little filler for your caravan. If you don't have one, grab one. The best feature, or two really great features, three, sorry. First is it gets down into your tank so you don't get your airlock back up. Number two feature is it's right angle, so it just hangs there and holds itself in. Number three is it's got a valve for shutting it on and off, which is great for when you're filling your tanks so you're not spilling water everywhere, for filling your jerry cans, or for washing the car. Anyway, that goes in there, bang. I've run a little, I took the cigarette lighter plug off the end and put an Anderson plug on, and I've run an Anderson plug to outside, just here, from my batteries inside. And I'll probably at some point, I might put a little inline switch or something so I can switch it on and off without having to plug and unplug, but that's getting a bit fancy, isn't it? Anyway, we'll pop this hose. Where's the jerry can? There it is. Pop this hose in again, making sure that it gets all the way down to the lowest point of your container. And then run the pump. As you can see now, we got water flowing. Oh, our tanks might be full. Best way to find places to fill up your water is on Wikicamps. If you don't have Wikicamps already, make sure you jump online, download it for your phone or whatever. You can set your filters on Wikicamps to show different points of interest, and of course you can set it to show water fill up points. Check the comments. People will comment and let you know if it's recommended for drinking or not, if it's bore water, if it tastes bad, if it's running or not running, all those kinds of things. So check the comments on Wikicamps before you go and fill up there. But there's heaps around. A lot of your free camps and your RV stops and stuff like that, obviously caravan parks and things too, will all have water hookups. And keep a keen eye out, because even just driving through town, you might come to a town hall or a public barbecue area that'll have clean water too. Just a word to the wise, don't fill up from the hose at a dump point. If you've not used a dump point before, or you don't have a toilet cassette and you're not sure what it's all about, I've seen people jam those hoses down their toilet cassettes, and you do not want that in your drinking water, believe me. So generally speaking, if you're at a dump point and there's a tap there for cleaning toilet cassettes and stuff, look around you, because not too far away there's probably another one labelled drinking water. Anyway, there you go, off-grid water for your caravan. Make sure you like and subscribe, alright, so you don't miss a thing, and I'll keep these videos coming out to get you guys out here and exploring and immersing yourself in the great Australian outdoors as well. See you, Eddie.
This must be home. Must be home.